It is 4 p.m. We're bringing developing news.
And the stories behind the headlines. This is Storycon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao. Some stories we're watching this weekend, Friday, June 27. Of course, I had to say that.
Of course.
Malacanang says the Department of Justice is not directly cooperating with the International Criminal Court, or the ICC. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro clarifies that the DOJ will only protect witnesses involved in the crimes against humanity case against former President Duterte. Castro stresses government's intention is to help witnesses testify and not to formally assist the ICC.
Australia has reportedly declined to host former President Rodrigo Duterte if he is temporarily released from ICC detention. According to Philstar.com, the Australian government is not even considering accepting Duterte, saying the matter falls under ICC's jurisdiction. The report comes after Vice President Sara Duterte said Australia was among countries being considered to temporarily host her father. House Speaker Martin Romualdez said he supports opening budget deliberations to the public to promote transparency. He is proposing live streaming bicameral sessions to allow Filipinos direct access to the final stages of budget negotiations. This comes as the economic team sets the 2026 national budget at 6.7 trillion pesos, a record high.
The Senate Impeachment Court has received the prosecution's 37-page reply to VP Sara Duterte's ad cautelam. The document submitted at 1:38 p.m. rejects the Vice President's claim that no case is pending before the court. Prosecutors described Duterte's response as misleading and false, insisting the impeachment case remains valid.
And the National Police Commission, or NAPOLCOM, has launched a probe into police officers implicated in the disappearance of 34 cockfighting enthusiasts. NAPOLCOM Vice Chair Rafael Calinisan says a motu proprio investigation is underway to determine possible administrative liability. He urged witnesses, alias Totoy, to formally file a complaint to allow a fair process and assured that no guilty officer will be spared.
Okay, maybe some good news. After two staggered oil price increases this week, motorists may finally see some relief next week. The DOE sees a rollback of 2 pesos and 10 centavos per liter in diesel prices. That went up by 5.20 this week. Meanwhile, gasoline prices may drop by 1 peso and 40, while kerosene could go down by 2 pesos and 20 centavos per liter. The Energy Department says the potential rollback to the ceasefire. The rollback is due to the ceasefire between Iran and Israel. And joining us today, well, actually, in a little bit, medyo na-traffic daw si, hahabol daw siya, ang kanyang parating dahilan. Ay, paano? Yun. Yung ating heckler, si Ronald Llamas.
Everyone knows, our resident political heckler.
Kinakagat-kagat na yung dila niya ngayon.
We never know when he's turning up.
That's, si Ronald is the international man of mystery. Parang si Austin Powers. Pati sa love life niya, parang Austin Powers yan.
You never know. Basta na lang papasok sa studio. We just don't know where he is. Pero he will turn up later.
Okay.
Wala din sa Ami today. Ami's still off this week. So, okay.
Si Ami sa abroad, no?
Nasa Cebu daw eh.
Oh, okay.
She went to Cebu.
Oh, several stories on the table.
Yes, several stories on the table. Two that I immediately want to tackle are the how do I describe it? Yung I don't know if we're being gaslit or it's just creative wordsmithing. Pero what to make
diplomacy?
What to make of not directly cooperating with ICC, but will only protect witnesses involved. I mean, yung protection of the witnesses was in fact requested by the ICC. So I don't understand.
And Boeing was saying that the ICC has gotten in touch with the Witness Protection Program.
Correct. So why are we now denying that we are not directly cooperating?
Well, because for the last 2 years or 3 years, they've been saying that we do not recognize the ICC's jurisdiction.
So can I call it Can I call this a gaslighting?
Maybe there are different forms of gases. Some are lighter, some are heavier, some are volatile, some are
Scientist ka
flammable.
talaga. Scientist
Some
ka
may
talaga.
explode and some are
Right,
inert.
Right.
There.
Right.
So it's up to you if you want
Okay.
to call this flammable or inert.
Because, and you know what I mean, because the only so itong witness protection program, we found out directly from Justice Secretary Boying Remulla himself, who said that ICC called the witness protection program.
Hindi raw siya ang diretso.
Hindi siya directly yung tinawagan, pero WPP asking for protection for the drug war victims. And so in his ambush interview after that, he said, well, it's our obligation to provide, to protect these witnesses
Whether
as
it's,
much as we can.
Whether it's for the ICC or for the general public's benefit, it's the government's duty daw to protect Filipinos.
Correct. And now you have Palace.
Yung kanyang,
Right. And may sinabi pa siya na, remember the keywords that we used yesterday, we recognize the International Tribunal, it is our obligation to protect the witnesses. And then today we have Palace Press Officer Yusek Claire Castro saying, no, Malacanang is not directly cooperating with the ICC, which is what got me very confused.
Tama naman, Malacanang yun eh.
So maybe that's the answer. They're still trying to make a separation.
Maybe. Also the WPP, maybe ibang level.
Pero ultimately reports to DOJ. WPP.
Which ultimately reports sa Malacanang.
So
like
help me out.
Like I said, some gases are inert, some gases are volatile, some gases are flammable.
Okay.
So whatever you term as
So-
gaslighting may not be a gas that is capable of being lit to other people.
Okay. Meron pa. Castro stresses that the government's intention is to help witnesses testify and not to formally assist the ICC. If you help the witnesses testify, is it not
Helping.
is it not assisting the case itself? So
Well-
what's the difference between the two? I also don't know.
Wala rito si Ami eh. Isa si Ami.
Si Ami. Si Ami magsasabi, she'll call a spade.
But there's another angle here that I'd like to get clarity on eh. Kasi I was recalling mga 2022 August or September. Yeah, we had Boying Remulla on the Chiefs.
Correct.
He was saying there are several police officers who have come to them and they're saying that they want to testify on EJK kasi raw napilitan sila, hindi nila gusto ang nangyari, ganon. Basically, it's an acknowledgement that there were EJK cases done by police officers. In this case, supposedly they were unwilling participants. So may ganun siyang bigas noong 2022. And he was saying, yung nga lang, we couldn't put them under the witness protection program because law enforcement officers are not included in the WPP.
Oh, they can't
They're
apply
not.
for WPP?
No, they're not. They're law enforcers. So they're supposed to be out there, not underground. So they're not included in the WPP.
Fair enough. They fear for their lives, right? Takot sila.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, that's what he was saying. What he was saying was basically we need to amend the law for them to be included. So my question would be, are these guys talking again to the DOJ, and are they going to take part in any testimony?
Correct.
In the kasi sure you would have relatives of victims who would talk with the ICC or talk to the
Iba
ICC.
yung police testimony.
Iba yung first-hand information or
Oo.
first-hand account
Exactly.
na I pulled the trigger or I was the lookout.
Or I heard the order to
That
kill so-and-so.
that would be that would be
smoking gun.
Oh yeah, that would be a bigger story for not a bigger story, pero I suppose a weightier testimony for the ICC.
Correct.
Versus siyempre may value rin, pero iba yung kamag-anak na binaril, siyempre the judge may look at that several ways eh.
Yeah.
Parang you're an interested party here, so na may ganun yun. Versus
You're
ang
right.
police.
It is weighty. It's pretty weighty.
Versus ang police na nag-acknowledge ng ng fault.
Yeah. And you're right. We never heard anything about that, no? After after yung sinabi sa inyo. Sa the Chiefs yun.
Yeah, the Chiefs yun.
That was the Chiefs.
Yeah. So that's interesting to go back to. Whether it's with the DOJ, the WPP, or the DILG, or NAPOLCOM.
Yeah. And again, just so our viewers know, we have been trying the DOJ, of course, to try to talk to them to shed light on all of these issues, but so far they haven't agreed to grant us an interview. Yung mga sound bites that we've been running were just from the ambush interview of our field reporter at the DOJ.
The other big angle there that we'd also like to go into, but we need to talk out to somebody from DOJ or NAPOCOM, was what Boeing was saying yesterday. I'm sorry, Boeing. What Secretary Remulla was saying yesterday. Na I'll just quote lang. As far as the EJK cases are concerned, there is nothing, not even a police report. You don't have a scene of the crime investigation. You don't have ballistics. You don't have DNA. We need to create and do the case build-up. It's not very easy. In other words, he was complaining na walang nangyaring police work sa mga kasong ito. The required police work. Or that or... Yeah, I have the soundbite. Sige, let's put it in.
Well, tingnan natin. Siyempre, we want to help everybody. Yung problema nga talaga dito, yung how to prove the cases. Kasi nga, police report pa lang, wala na. Wala kang scene of the crime. Wala kang ballistics. Wala kang DNA. And we have to recreate and try to do a case build-up again. It's not very easy. Kaya nga umabot sa ICC ito eh. Kasi dito, binura na lahat ng pwedeng burahin eh. Para hindi matuloy yung mga kaso. Kaya nga mabuti nga yung ICC, nakakuha pa sila ng mga testigo na magpapatunay sa kaso na final nila.
That is coming from the DOJ Secretary. The Justice Secretary.
But is it that they never did a police report? They never tested ballistics? They never tested DNA? Or meron tapos binura? Or did somebody destroy the evidence?
That's something that we need to find out. A complaint by Center Law Philippines. I remember this went up to the Supreme Court in 2016 and 2017. 2018, Center Law, one of the litigants on the EJ case before the Supreme Court was complaining that, well, the Supreme Court ordered the PNP to submit all the pertinent documents, including the police reports, to the Supreme Court for their perusal. Ang complaint ng Center Law that the police never did that kasi wala silang masubmit.
So wala talaga. They never
wala
did
na
the police
or wala.
reports.
It's not really clear.
Oh
Wala na wala eh.
It's not clear if walang ginawa in the first place or nawala.
But si Boeing was saying in binura. So,
You know, I noticed the word binura. What does that mean?
What? Was somebody tampering with evidence?
Correct.
Tampering with official documents?
Correct.
Or was it simply deliberate negligence on the part of the police force not to conduct? This is part of procedure. Every time there is a discharge of a firearm in the official performance of
They
duties
have
of
to
policemen.
do the
Kasama yan sa SOP that may investigasyon yan ng internal affairs. I don't know what they call it now eh. Pero there's investigation there.
Isn't that under NAPOLCOM?
Yeah.
Yeah, should be under NAPOLCOM.
So they should be looking every time there's a discharge of firearm and somebody gets injured. They should be looking into whether or not the discharge was justified and legal and lawful, especially if there is somebody injured or killed. Especially. Ang SOP niyan actually is pag may mamatay, ang almost automatic default is filing of cases, even against a police officer. Almost automatic. It doesn't really happen naman automatically, pero almost automatic kasi it's up to the police to show that the discharge was justified. And if it is justified, then they don't file the case. Pero yun kasama dapat sa requirement parate may investigasyon ang internal affairs kung anong nangyari at kung bakit nangyari at kung justified ba.
And actually, there was a plan, remember, to outfit them with body cams. Ano nangyari doon?
Well, kasi nawala na si DR King eh. Hindi mo alam si DR King, no?
Alam ko si DR King. Grabe ka naman. Alam ko nga yung DVD. But si Ronald yun. We'll save it for late. DVD. It's not DVD. But, whatever happened to that? Yung plan to outfit them with body cams? Which they're already doing in many other countries.
They claim to have planned to do it in phases, but even then, that was several years ago. So if they were planning to do it in phases, by this time, dapat full face na yan eh.
Well.
So, yun. And I remember there was even a Supreme Court, a Supreme Court directive on that, na if you don't have a body cam, all police operations, especially involving drugs, dapat may two recording devices yan, including cell phones.
Pwedeng audio. Or video.
Kailang video.
Okay.
Including the
Somebody has to
use of
take the
cell
video.
phones. I remember that kasi there was this big brouhaha over whether or not we can afford to buy body cams kaagad na isang bagsakan.
Oo.
So there was the alternate na parang, okay, if you can't afford body cams, video recording devices which include cell phones.
Yes.
May gano'n na directive yun. I don't know
So
what happened
somebody
to that.
has to record it.
Oo. Talagang may video record talaga ng lahat ng operations dapat. Si Ronald
Which I don't think which I don't think is in effect yet. I mean, I haven't heard. Unless they are doing it, hindi lang natin alam.
Well, that's something we should ask. Actually, we should ask about that. We should ask about that from the NAPOLCOM, among other agencies.
Yun na nga eh. That's the other agency that we've been trying because we have a lot of questions for them. Pero
Bok, if we can get NAPOLCOM today, let's get them early next week. Let's bring them in. And let's be proactive then with this. If you can't get the police,
so,
get
ito na yung
people who police the
our
police.
resident political heckler who can answer my big question for the day, which is, ready ka na?
Which is bakit yung
Okay,
traffic?
ito yung question ko, which is,
Galing sa loob ng kuweba.
ano ang difference ng we're not directly cooperating with the International Criminal Court, we are only protecting witnesses involved in the crimes against humanity? Anong difference? Because I honestly can't see the difference.
Bigyan mo ng konting
Oh, no, because, so
Sabi ni Boying versus sabi ni Clear.
ICC called the Witness Protection Program saying, we need your help to protect these witnesses. Hindi si Boying yung directly tinawagan. But DOJ acquiesced, pumayag sila, right? And then the next day, and then on the same day, you have Justice Sec Boying saying that we have an obligation to protect all the witnesses as much as we can. We recognize this international tribunal. We have given the case to ICC because ang hirap ng evidence gathering. And then the next day, you have Palace Press Officer Yusek Castro, which is today pala, saying Malacanang says the DOJ is not directly cooperating with ICC. And I'm honestly struggling to see the difference there. Am I...
Mataas kasi yung standard mo.
Doon na tayo nauwi.
Nakakainis ka na.
Naghahanap ka ng coherence
Yes.
sa gobyerno.
Okay.
Ang tawag dyan, politics. No? They
Okay.
want to have their cake and eat it too.
I know.
Gusto nila i-maintain yung
But-
not member of the ICC, but at the same
okay.
time ay tutulungan namin yung mga Pilipino na tetestigo, poprotektahan namin sila kahit wala kaming diretsong ugnayan sa ICC. No? Yun yung mahalaga doon yung direct.
Yes, because tinanong ko din siya. I asked him, I understand that there is an effort here to separate the two, pero why? Even though technically they mean the same thing, it's
Baka gusto
English is
nila-
English.
Ang kinukuhan kasi nila, baka banatan sila. No? Baka banatan sila. Hindi tayo membro, ba't kayo nagko-coordinate? Di ba? Actually, madaling sagutin yun Isa kang sovereign state na pwedeng mag-coordinate sa any multilateral organization kahit hindi ka membro. Siguro very sensitive lang sila dahil nga nasa isang intense political battle. No? Pero malinaw naman, no, in so many words, nagko-coordinate ka. Ayaw mo lang tawagin na coordination.
Ayun. What word you use?
Parang kunyari, parang iba yan sa forthwith. Sa forthwith kasi malinaw yung ibig sabihin.
Iba yun sa fourth with. Cooperate to me means
Yung coordination,
it's very easy to understand. Ano ba yung mahirap intindihin sa cooperate?
coordination, cooperate, pwede kasi indirect cooperation.
You can cooperate without coordinating.
Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin indirect ang forthwith. Pero ang maganda ngayon, naglabas ng 15-page na sagot ang prosecution doon sa interim release. Yun, walang equivocation yun.
Yes.
Yung nabasa nyo ba?
Yung
15-page release?
they're
Actually,
rejecting the request for
yes,
interim
pero
release.
it's more than that. It's a psychological profiling.
Yes.
Yung pagtingin nila doon sa Duterte family at doon sa kanilang fan base na practically tinawag nilang isang sekta. No?
Cult-like. Yung tawag nila, cult-like.
At pinakita nila, paano ba natin papakawalan ito? No? Paano ito bibigyan ng interim release? Kinidnap nga.
Oo.
Ang kidnap victim ba ay babalik doon sa kidnapper?
And also,
Doon sa...
pinoint out din nila that he doesn't recognize ICC in the first place. He doesn't,
Ang nakalagay kasi dyan ay bring him home. Yun ang kwan. Yung pag bring him home mo na ba, makakabalik pa ba? So, ang maganda rito, ginamit nila mismo yung mga salita. No?
ng supporters.
Ng supporters. At saka ng pamilya. No? Ginamit nila mismo yon. Panghuli, ay sinabi nila, this is a powerful group. No?
That's true. That
Meron
he
tong
still
vice
builds
president,
political
may mga
influence.
allies na senador, may mga local officials,
Yun nga yung sinabi.
etc. No?
At may crowd sa labas.
Ibig sabihin, hindi sila...
Malaki. In other countries too.
This is not about persecution. It's about impunity. No? I could not have said it better.
Oo nga, it's very damning. The report was very damning. Pero speaking of interim release, the other big news today is Australia has reportedly declined to host Digong if he is temporarily released. According to philstar.com, the Australian government is not even considering accepting Duterte. Now, may questions din ako doon because it's not clear if Australia has actually outright rejected. Because parang yung the wording lang ng source ng Philstar is, it is understood that the Australian government is aware of Duterte's petition. Australia has not agreed to host the former Philippine president, nor are they considering this. But is that so? That's an answer in a moment in time. That's a diplomatic version of no comment. But did they actually say? Yes, somebody asked us. Yes, the ICC asked us. And no, we are rejecting it. So there's a difference then.
It was an outright rejection of an informal request.
So there was an informal request from VP when she was in Melbourne.
Ang sabi sa news ay tinex ni BP yung foreign minister ng Australia.
Si Penny Wong. But it was to meet. Hindi to, can you host my father?
Bakit ka mag-meet? Magkakape lang kayo.
Sabi niya, brief chat lang daw.
Yun ang kangaroo.
Foreign minister yun. No?
Sabi niya, brief chat.
Hindi naman kayo BFF nun, di ba? Ba't kayo
Hindi, nag-meet na sila kasi when Penny Wong came here.
Iba naman yung BFF, iba yung nag-meet lang kayo once sa isang official gathering. No? Halimbawa, ito, hindi to meeting. No? This is a dialogue. This is a relationship.
This is, I have no choice in where which show I get to sit in.
Diba? Pero yung nakabunggo mo sa labas.
This is a hostage scenario.
Kasi nakabunggo mo sa hi, hello, no?
So, you think na yung text na yun, yung informal request, yun na yun?
Or perhaps even the prosecution, the defense.
That was the informal request.
Ginawa nila yan, no? In-explore nila. Saan ba ito pupunta? No, kung sakaling ibigay yung
naisip na nila that,
na walang record, walang history ang ICC ng interim release.
Yes.
Lalo na somebody like him. No? Na
more crimes against humanity.
Pero what about yung concern ni Atty. Conti kahapon na apparently...
Hindi, nagulat nga ako doon. Sinagot ko nga sa isang interview. Parang wala namang basis yung kaba nila Atty. Conti na nakikipag-usap yung prosecution, no, sa defense para sa possibility ng isang bansa.
You think formality lang yun? Because they do have to talk to each other. Pero completely separate.
Pero ang linaw-linaw ng kwan ng prosecution statement, yung 15. Parang never na consider yon. No? Never na consider. Mas pakikinggan ko yung ganong klaseng formal statement. Kesa yung mga he said this, he said that, gano'n. Wala namang formal eh. Ito formal eh. No? It's a scathing rejection nung interim release. No? If you ever see it.
But to be fair, I mean, just for...
Pati ako nagulat eh. Just sa 15-page report na yun.
But just for the record, we have not received any formal communication from Australia, from the Canberra government.
Tawagan ko sila.
that they have outright rejected this. Again, this is just based off a report from philstar.com.
But then again, it's also premature eh.
I know, it adds up.
Kung di pa naman bibigyan ng interim release.
Oo nga eh. baka nga natanong na sila, ano ba to? Talaga bang kinoconsider ng bansa nyo na pupuntahan? Parang mismo Australia, baka hindi naka-receive anything formal.
Mga kangaroo tsaka mga koala bear.
But in the first place, is it the defense who will ask? Baka naman ICC ang magtatanong ng state party.
I doubt
Can
it.
you host?
That will
I doubt
host?
it. I
Oh.
doubt it. Dahil merong
Is it the defense?
gagawa ng motion yung defense, gagawa ng sagot yung prosecution, tapos pagpapasyahan ng judges.
Correct.
Hindi naman umabot dun eh. So I doubt kung ICC ang gagawa ng request.
In short,
No? Parang lang yan eh, parang chuk-chak chenes lang.
Anong lingwahe mo?
ano yung kahapon? Chikadoodle. Chikadoodle. Hindi ka na nakalimutan.
Baka nakita lang sa kanya, sa kantin, nagkakape. Gusto namin ito, no?
Ayan.
Gusto namin ganitong 3 bansa na posible. Okay ba kayo dyan?
Dami
Baka
ko
na ganun lang eh, no?
Dami kong
Tawag
words
nila
na
doon.
tutunan this week.
Ang tawag nila
Chikadoodle
dyan,
and chuk-chak chen.
chenes, di ba?
Tagal din yung
Uy.
bigyan mo.
Oy,
Di ba?
so
Di pa
in
rin
short, ulit.
Chuk-chak chenes.
I kind of know. Medyo...
You sneak it in your
medyo
sneak it into your conversation with people. See how they respond.
which...
Tsaka chikadoodle.
Alam ko yung chikadoodle. But they word for the data na naman tayo. Wait, so, but in short,
Word for the day dyan.
itong si Attorney Nicholas Kaufman is 343 now. This is the third motion he's filed that was rejected, correct? Number 1 was to ask 2 of the pretrial judges to recuse themselves. Number 2 was it for them to be replaced? Hindi ko na maalala. Parang something to do with the judges as well, which was also denied. And number 3 is itong interim release.
Hindi mo pa nabanggit yung opening ni Executive Secretary Medjugorje.
CES, oo.
Binanatan niya yung buong korte. Parang kung ikaw ay haharap sa korte, no? Parang hindi maganda na babanatan mo yung korte. Di ba?
Alam mo,
It is in keeping with
Alam mo,
Duterte.
gusto mo ba na-
you know what they say, he wasn't talking to them naman eh. He was talking to the base. Parang maga lang yan din sa Trump,
Sige,
right?
hindi ka na makakauwi. Hindi ka na
Ayun.
hindi ka na mananalo
It's
sa
in
kaso.
keeping with the Duterte style.
Oo, pero iba kasi yung korte sa abroad. Iba dito, di ba?
Iba yung ano
Alam mo,
nila.
ginamit tuloy laban sa kanila. Yung bring him home. Yung kidnapping.
Sinabi ba niya bring him home in his opening remarks?
Hindi,
Nakalimutan ko na eh.
sinisigaw ng mga senador yon, sinisigaw nila
Yeah,
ng mga
yeah.
kamag-anak.
That's the slogan
ng base,
talaga,
di
bring
ba?
him home.
Tapos bago, nung kinuha siya, kidnapping. Yung kidnap victim ba, babalik pa doon sa kidnapper. Di ba? Yun yung problema. Halimbawa, lahat ng statements ni Digong tungkol sa EJK, gagamitin sa kanya sa trial. Hindi kailangan ng prima facie evidence ng ICC. Your own pronouncements can be used against you. No? Walang self-incrimination.
Oo.
Pwede mo i-incriminate yung sarili mo.
But one interesting thing that we picked up from Attorney Conti yesterday was, remember when she said na gumagalaw pa rin yung kaso, the case build-up is ongoing because of course it's not just going to be former President Duterte who is going to be made answerable to this.
Yes,
May
pero
mga ibang tao
Pero
pa.
nung natapos yung preliminary investigation, which was the basis for the international warrant, no? Ay malaking bahagi ng case build-up ay tapos na.
Para sa kanya. Pero yung case build-up for the other potential subjects to this case is still ongoing. So
Well,
the question is who those people are.
Dahil kung si Bato yan, marami na rin yun.
Marami na din.
Build-up, oh. Dahil ikaw ang architect ng Tokang.
Oo nga.
No, yun yung,
Hindi, si Digong yung architects,
Hindi,
supposedly.
si Digong,
Siya yung
Si
nag-execute.
Digong ang nag-approve, no, as the president, no. Pero yung nag-design ng Tokhang is Bato. Inaamin naman niya.
But I think that's
Dahil ang sinasabi naman nila,
interesting yun
yung
eh.
Tokhang ay hindi naman EJK. No, yun ang sinasabi nila. Kaya hindi nila dinedeny yung Tokhang. Sinasabi lang nila ay yung Tokhang ay legitimate.
It's a neighborly attempt to reach out and touch someone.
Legitimate police operations.
reach out and touch someone talaga. O, sige, magkapo na tayo.
At gap na pa. Kala ko, chuk-chak Chinese pa rin.
O, sige, chikadudos na.
You are watching Storycon on One News. We just need to take a very quick break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
We've got developing news and the stories behind the headlines. Welcome back to Storycon, the Story Conference. I'm Ed Lingao.
I'm Regina Lay. Still with us, Ronald Llamas. Na
Hirap na hirap sa magkitin.
bungi-bungis-ngis niya, a resident political heckler.
Why not? It's a Friday naman eh.
Oo nga, diba?
Happy kami.
Happy.
Ay, kanina we were talking kanina about yung complaint ni Remulla kahapon na nagkawalaan o hindi ginawa ng matino yung
Binura.
yung mga forensics sa mga EJK cases.
Alala mo, guest natin dati si Dr. Fortune.
Fortuno.
Sabi niya, ang legitimate na kwan lang ay yung ginawa niyang 4.
Oo. Yung
apat.
Out of supposedly
libo.
hundreds. Libo.
death
Sabi
certificate,
niya,
cardiac arrest, pero may
Diba?
bullet hole sa bungo.
mismo si Dr. Fortune sabi niya, ako lang yata yung legitimate pathologist dito no? Dahil wala namang talaga
iba eh.
autopsy, no? At yun yung minana ngayon ng DOJ tsaka ng DILG na nasan yung aming ebidensya.
But we were saying kanina parang there should be accountability there kasi that's SOP dapat eh.
Hindi, dapat yung mga responsible doon, kasuhan din.
Kaya nga.
That's criminal, that's criminal negligence, di ba?
Accountability. Kasi whoever ordered that these things not be done or these things be tampered with, these documents and
Masyadong mabait pa yung salita
processes.
accountability. Dapat criminal negligence. Yung ano talaga, mga kriminal.
Diba?
Ganun.
I mean, if you have the Justice Secretary complaining about that, then that should
Saka
be...
DILG secretary.
sa Senate hearing.
Na under niya ang PNP, di ba? So, imagine, pero tapos mapapahiya sila kung wala silang gagawing kaso. Di ba? Kung hindi nila
Kasi
kakasuhan
kung
ito
hindi,
mga
ano lang yun,
responsible dito.
pyrotechnics lang ginawa nila.
Oo, dapat kasuhan mo. Dapat may example ka. No? Di ba?
Kasi these are processes talaga that...
Parang si Vince Dizon. Kaliwat kanan ng kaso. Doon sa mga customs, sa mga police.
Yung problema,
diba? Oo, di ba? Pero yun, put your money where your mouth is.
Pero the other question there is, hindi ba ginawa in the first place? Hindi sila nag-ballistics, hindi sila nag-DNA test, hindi sila nag-file ng police report, or binura, or meron pero
Or tampered
binura.
with,
Ang
or
sabi
tampered
nung
with.
aking Lodi, si Manny Mogato, wala.
Wala talaga. So there you go. It's
Yung baril nga na ginamit sa isang incident na
Paulit-ulit.
nawala.
lumipat doon sa kabilang syudad.
Kasi may serial number eh.
Naglakad. No? parang Looney Tunes naglalakad. Di ba? No, if it wasn't tragic, no? Nakakatawa eh.
Ikaw natatawa ka pa.
Pero tragic siya eh.
It's very tragic.
Tinatawanan ko si Manny Mogato.
Kasi you can kasi you can only I know this sounds bad. You can only use a gun so many times before may makahalata na parang lumilitaw ang serial number niya.
Ibig sabihin,
Kasi maraming mga pulis, hindi naman lahat, may mga pulis na may spare na throw-away gun yan eh.
tatapon mo para hindi
Literal lang tatapon mo sa scene of the crime.
Pero yung tatapon mo, yung mga paltik.
Yung
Pero
mga baril,
natapon mo, pero dapat somebody should have tested that for DNA.
Dahil hindi pwedeng same ballistic in the same hour. Di ba? Sobra naman kwan yun. No? Sobrang pagtitipid.
Tapos serial number dapat.
Sobrang pagtitipid.
Manonote mo yan.
Pero may mahalaga rin kwan, different topic. Dahil yesterday, sabi ni Senate President, magko-convene ang Senate sa linggo. During the last day ng termino
19th Congress.
ng 19th
On the
Congress.
29th.
Dahil mag-end kasi June 30.
Yeah.
On the 29th, magko-convene sila at pwede raw nilang i-dismiss ang
tama.
impeachment by 50% more
Simple
than
majority.
simple majority. Na. Medyo kanya lang.
Which is 13.
Medyo grabe na yan. Paano nga, tinapos na eh. Tinapos na nila yung session nila based sa kanilang sariling calendar last June 11. No?
But hindi naman to legislative work, so the work of the impeachment court can continue on. The bigger question is,
pero sinabi kasi nila ng June 11,
are you allowed to just
ipapasa na namin sa 20th Congress. Bakit bigla kang bigla kang magko-convene, tapos sasabihin mo pa na pwedeng i-dismiss?
so yun yung questionable here.
Pinapasa mo na sa 20th Congress eh. But ngayon, pwede mo palang i-dismiss ng 19th Congress.
Well,
During the last 2 minutes.
The fact that the idea that you can vote on a motion, right, is already a big question mark. Because again, the Constitution says there are only 2 ways out of this, which is you vote to acquit or you vote to convict. Wala naman vote to dismiss, right? So that's, I don't know.
Hindi naman daw sinabi ng Constitution na hindi nila pwedeng i-dismiss.
Pero po,
So because hindi sinabi ng Constitution, you could do it.
Kaya ang daming hindi sinabi ng Constitution.
Pero
Kaya nga, ang batihan mo, ano ba yung sinabi? No? Dahil marami kasing hindi sinabi. No, hindi sinabi ng konstitusyon na magandang lalaki si Manny Mugato, di ba?
So ikaw na lang
Diba? Ibig sabihin ba nun?
pero I'm going to the story and the quotations say it appears na Escudero was being pressed by reporters on possibilities. Is it possible to do this? Is it possible to do that? So he's only
And he said
responding to them.
possible.
He's not proposing or forwarding plans
Na June 29.
Now what if there's a motion to dismiss, is that possible that will be voted upon? Everything is possible. So totoo naman.
Hindi, it's not possible to dismiss according to the Constitution. No? You cannot dismiss an impeachment case.
You can acquit, I suppose.
You can convict
You
or you
can-
can acquit.
yeah.
There's only 2 ways out of it.
Yun. Malinaw
Sabi
yan.
yun yung malinaw sa Constitution. And yes, you're right. Yung Constitution is silent on whether you can dismiss a motion as the prosecutors, as the senator judges, pero I don't know.
Ito yung sabi ni Cuero.
Sabi ni Representative-elect Laila de Lima, this is the Chis Escudero version of the 1987 Constitution. So, I don't know. He's a lawyer.
But what
I'm
if,
not a lawyer, so...
again, realm of possibilities. What if they don't use the word dismiss? What if they use the word acquit?
Parang forthwith.
Oo.
Parang...
Paano ka mag-acquit nang hindi pa kinakasuhan? No.
Hindi, may kaso na eh. May kaso na eh. That's why they've taken over, they've taken cognizance of the,
Hindi, paano ka
case.
mag-acquit na hindi mo pa tinanggap yung ebidensya nung complaint?
Wala
Sui generis. Pupasok sui
Hindi,
generis.
sinasabi nga ni Senator, the Senate can do anything.
Yeah, yun nga eh.
Yun ang sinasabi niya.
Naiikot
Ang
pala
sinasabi
yung
ng Constitution,
issue here.
hindi. Dahil meron tayong mga rule of law. No? Kung diktadura, halimbawa, Llamas dictatorship, baka pwede yun.
Bagay ka nga, no?
Di ba?
Nangilabot ako doon.
Hindi. Ang mga
Bagay.
Ang mga psychopath, pwedeng diktador, di ba? Tingin mo.
Pero ano ka ba? Psycho o
You took the
sociopath?
words right out of my mouth.
Pwedeng sociopath. Ang sociopath kasi, alam niya yung mali at tama, pero gagawin pa rin niya yung mali.
Ang psycho,
Ang psychopath ay
Hindi niya alam
hindi
yung
niya alam
details.
yung tama at saka mali.
Correct.
Kaya nandun ako borderline.
so selective ano?
Pero you're very self-aware. At least alam mo.
Salamat. That was almost a compliment. coming from the principal.
Let me just quote Chisa. Itong sabi niya dun sa press con. Simple majority is needed in all voting. 2/3 are needed to convict and acquit. It takes a question. If there's already a simple majority to dismiss, for example, then it's impossible to reach 2/3, right? Later in the press con, Escudero was asked if it's possible for the case to be dismissed without going to a formal trial, to which he answered that everything is possible. Sui generis.
Everything is possible.
This is also, ito na naman. So our third wordsmithing exercise for the day.
Everything is possible.
Everything's possible.
Chok chenes.
But
Everything's covered with sui generis.
the Constitution is clear. You only have to do one thing, which is to try and then vote.
Kung
on
naging
it.
diktador kaya ako, anong magiging posisyon ni principal?
Oo nga, no? Ano?
Sabi mo yung...
DepEd, kaya principal eh.
Hindi, ombudsman, para i-check ako.
Oh.
Ombudsman. Pwede
Check
namang
and
hindi
balance.
abogado ang ombudsman.
Ang dictators ba may
Di
check?
ko alam.
Kailangan
Hindi ko alam kung
abogado yun.
requirements. So.
Walang
Kailangan
checks and
abogado yun.
balances.
Hindi, pagawa
ang
natin sa
dictator.
recto.
Walang
ombudsman
ombudsman ang mga dictators. That's why they're dictators, right?
Oo nga naman.
Wala lang, kunyari lang.
You're free to do as you wish.
Kunyari lang, para bumango yung aking image as a dictator.
Okay. Ito pa. Other news for the day.
Mamaya
House
kumalat
Speaker-
yun, sabi mo.
Baka may maniwala.
Mag-viral yan.
Baka may maniwala.
House Speaker Martin Romualdez says he's supports the move to make the bicameral conference committee discussions open to
Transparent.
the public. This is a crucial step in restoring public trust and ensuring that the national budget truly reflects the will and the welfare of the people. Again, yung hinihingi ng government for next year, for the year 2026, is 6.7 trillion pesos, which is a record high. And this is significant because last year pa natin hinihingi na buksan nila ang bicameral conference committee. In fact,
Actually,
I
every
saw, well, every year, but especially last year, I remember asking, why, and a lot of experts as well, economic experts, say they should live stream it, they should open it to the public just for transparency, but they did not. And in fact, I also, napadaan ako where they were doing the BICAM, which is at the Manila Hotel. Meron pa mga posters ng mga politicians right there. So they were doing the BICAM.
In principle naman kasi, maganda yan. Pero the devil is in the details. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng transparency? Anong ibig sabihin ng participative? Anong ibig sabihin ng opening it up? No? Ikalawa, hindi lang pwedeng gawin yan ng House. Kailangan, dahil ang BICAM kasi kasama ang Senate.
Correct.
So, anong sagot ng Senate? Diyan. Kailangan may sagot sila. Okay ba sila dyan? And then again, ano yung detalye na mapagkakasunduan? Dahil pwede naman, sabihin ko sa'yo, bubuksan ko to upo ka. No? Upo ka sa
May
hearing.
script.
Oo. Ganito aming
Ito yung ano
ganito
natin.
yung sasabihin namin, tapos pumalakpak ka. Pag hindi ka pumalakpak, eject ka, di ba? So the devil is
The devil is in the details.
No? Ano ba yung ibig
No,
sabihin?
the idea is always sound, but it's how they execute it. You're right, pwede magkaroon ng script. Pero the reason that we've been asking for the bicams to be made public is because doon nangyayari yung horse trading. Doon yung, okay, I'll take 10 billion off of this and then
21.5.
give me 50 here. Right? Doon nagkakabalasahan.
Actually, sa kwan pa lang sa mga hearing pa lang sa both houses
Alam mo na what they're
meron
asking
na yan,
for
Merong congressman na babala, pak, sa department na ito. Tapos break!
Usap-usap na yan.
Chukchak chenes, no? Tapos pagbalik,
May chiko dulo na.
Wala nang balat.
And then
no?
suddenly, okay na.
Okay na.
Oh, we agree on this figure.
Ganyan yung nangyayari in the real world. No?
And then sa BICAM, that's where they reconcile
Iba pa yun.
House and
Iba pa
Senate
yung
versions.
BICAM, no?
Ibang-iba yung House and Senate versions last year, if I remember correctly. And then yun nga, nagkaroon ng big issue over the ayuda. The big pot for
Ang
ayuda.
reklamo lang naman ng House, bakit kami lang may problema? Panto,
Magkasundo
BICAM
naman yung
ito,
dalawa.
di ba? Hindi lang kami ang may ayuda rin ng House. Hindi lang kami ang may insertions, hindi lang kami may lump sum. Ano?
Pero mas maraming
may narinig
insertions
nga ako
yung-
na congressman na nagsabi, hindi kami yung nag-zero budget sa PhilHealth, ha? Hindi House
Senate
yun.
ba yun?
Yun ang sabi nila. Siyempre, hindi natin malalaman. Hindi
Because
natin-
close nga yung BICAM.
Hindi nga
That's
transparent
right.
di ba? He said, she said, no? Yung gano'n na lang Ngayon, kung talagang seryoso sa transparency, seryoso na sa participation, iba yon. Iba yon.
They're talking about live streaming this.
Maganda rin yun.
But how do
But
you...
is that practical? Kasi that's when they negotiate I mean,
Hindi.
rightly or wrong,
Hindi,
that's
pwede
when
tayo,
they negotiate.
pwede tayo mag-suggest dahil naghahanap tayo ng out-of-the-box solution dito sa crisis ng tiwala sa process na ito na lahat tayo maapektuhan. So, mag-suggest tayo, sabihin natin sa Storycon. No? Halimbawa, si ex-executive secretary Ochoa, maraming alam yan dyan. No?
So ano nga yung compromise here?
Imbitahin natin, no? ES, paano ba yan? No? Ano bang karanasan mo dyan? No? So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Kumuha tayo ng mga may
what's
alam.
a good compromise nga? In terms of, okay, we'll open it up to the public, pero we also have to make sure na hindi walang script. They're not following a rigodon.
Hindi, kung i-open mo kasi yan sa media, i-open mo yan sa civil society, mahirap yon. Dahil mga pasawa yan Hindi yan basta-basta tatanggap ng script. No? At habang binubuo yung framework, ay kung na yan, titilad-tilarin na yan. No? Yung detalye niyan. Bubuksan na yan. Kaya sabi nyo transparent, sabi nyo open, sabi nyo participative. Bakit lang pala kami, token representation.
Correct, yeah.
So, lalabas yan ngayon. Dahil parang kanyan Pandora's box, binuksan mo, marami na susulpot yan ng suggestions. Kaya kunin mo yan dun sa mga dati lang gumagawa niyan,
But
may karanasan na, kunin mo sa civil society na lagi maingay, no? Kunin mo sa media
Academia.
na lagi nang kino-cover yan,
Sa
no?
academia.
Anong suggestion nila? So meron kang mga stakeholders na hindi naman mga amateurs at hindi naman mga walang alam diyan sa ganyang klaseng proseso, kunin mo na sa kanila. Dahil matagal ng issue yung transparency.
matagal na, but dare we say increasingly so in the last couple of years because of the insertions. And naging electoral issue na nga.
Pero
The midterms,
may dilemma
we saw
sila
that.
ngayon eh. Yung ating institution ay nasa pinakamababang tiwala ng mamamayan. So they have to do something na dramatic out of the box.
I mean, but how do we read this, the fact that si House Speaker Romualdez ang unang nagsabi, was the first one to came out publicly to say, okay,
Siya
I
kasi
support
yung-
the move to make the bicam
Siya kasi yung
public.
under attack eh.
But now, it's a challenge to the Senate, like you said, to respond. So
Yes.
nauna siya,
Parang-
could this cause more tension between the two houses?
course,
They're
of
already
course,
so
of course.
tenuous, right?
Halimbawa, nung gumawa ng 100 peso bilang Senate, gumawa ng 200
Correct.
ng House.
Oo.
O, di ba? O, sino mas magaling?
But
Yung pala,
won't it just drive all the horse trading under the table?
Yun na nga, yun yung sasabi niya.
Hindi, pero ito nga, at least kumpara sa nakaraan, ay makikita mo. O, bakit merong ganyan dito? No? Bakit meron? Yung iba kasi expert dyan eh. No?
Baka the
Halimbawa,
bigger value
si-
is before it's approved by the BICAM, you already see what's on the table eh.
Yun, halimbawa, yung ipopropose ng Malacanang, di ba? Bakit masyadong humiwalay dyan? Anong ibig sabihin yan? Ang magaling dyan kasi dati si Senator Ping Lacson. Nahanap niya yung mga double, triple, quadruple reporting. Diba? Na nakikita niya. Hindi lang si Senator Ping Lacson ang may alam niyan. May mga NGO, civil society na may alam
Oo.
niyan. No? So, yan. Pag binukas mo yan, hindi lahat maitatago. Yes, sabi nga ni Ed, meron pa rin horse trading dyan underneath. Pero at least ngayon, no, ay naka-open yan, babalata namin yan. Sasabihin ng civil
Yun nga eh.
society.
Yeah.
Sasabihin ng media, alam na namin yan, luma na yan eh.
You're not
No?
given a fait accompli na tapos na yung BICAM, ito na yung resulta, and then,
Yes.
Habang
Pero
nasa
again,
lamesa,
Which is exactly our
Oo.
reaction last year, ha?
ito habang nasa lamesa, pwede mong
Yes.
tirahin.
Pero again, inuulit ko, the
Pag-usapan.
devil is in the details.
Wait, teka,
May
yung-
mga workaround pa yun eh.
The devil is telling us that we're over time.
There's
Sinong
loopholes.
devil yan? Si Jan Bayan.
Pero sabihin ko lang already at this point in time, may mga naririnig tayo, mga agencies that are asking for more budget. Of course, every year naman tumataas. But including PhilHealth, for instance, who still has a case at the Supreme Court over the excess funds that they remitted back to the Treasury. But already next year, they're asking for more budget. So tingnan natin. We have to monitor that. But that's all the time we have for today.
Oo, Biyernes nga ikaw, talaga, huwag ka na babay.
At least nakapag-chuk-chak Chinese tayo na
Si
matagal.
Principal eh.
Thank you for joining Storycon today, Ronald Llamas, a resident political pundit / heckler.
Kumusta boss? ES Ochoa. Nabanggit kita rito.
Special mention, yes. Baka we can guest with us next week. Join us again Monday, 4 p.m. for Storycon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao. We are One News, all sides, all the time.